Ladies and geeks, how the heck are you? Good to have you back. Well, Labor Day has come and gone, and with it, the sweet song of summer. Though the weather is still hot, the kids have gone back to school, and summer barbecues and beach days are now a not so distant sunburned memory. What is a distant memory are the great blockbuster flicks of yesteryear, where we spent hours of our childhood summer fun clustered in an air conditioned theater with total strangers, living out our dreams through our on screen heroes. Maybe it's just me, but the older I get, the less exciting these blockbusters get, and the fewer of them there actually are. This summer was no different. Sure, there were a few good hits like Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine, but for every one of those, there were nearly twice as many lackluster films like Argylle and Madam Web. So what's the deal? Why did some of these flicks crowd theaters while others kept people away like a popcorn scented plague? Well, I aim to find out, so stick around as we examine the case of the Blockbummer Summer. Summer 2024 saw our share of cinematic hits and misses, and we start our abridged scorecard with the biggest miss of the summer, Argylle, a film that for all the big-name stars headlining it, should have been a sure thing. In fact, if we were to go just by the generous Rotten Tomatoes score, you might be fooled into thinking it was a hit, but you'd be wrong. With a budget of $200 million and a measly revenue of just over $96 million, Argylle didn't make anywhere near the $500 million they needed just to break even. Close on the heels of that big-budget bomb was The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, another Henry Cavill-led flick that, while not terribly bad, didn't recoup enough of its $60 million budget to be called a success. And that's too bad, because I really like to see anything made by Guy Ritchie dominate the summer box office. Perhaps one of the most abysmal cinematic failures of 2024 was the American Society of Magical... Not gonna say that name, because I don't want YouTube to deplatform this channel. Suffice it to say, this patronizing flick was not well received, either by critics or fans. Talk about a double whammy. Finally, in no particular order, you had The Fall Guy, a movie based on the little-remembered 80s TV show of the same name, starring Ryan Gosling, who was just coming down off the success of Barbie. Then there's the Garfield movie, the second animated go-round featuring the OG Grumpy Cat, which had the misfortune of opening up right around the same time as Inside Out 2, which just happens to be the first title on our summer hits list. Of course, we can't start a greatest hits list without bringing up Deadpool and Wolverine. I've already made a review video about this crowd pleaser, so I'm just going to let the Rotten Tomatoes score speak for itself. Check out that verified hot score.
Nice.
Twisters, a quasi-sequel to the 1996 disaster classic, proved that you can still have some good old-fashioned fun at the box office. Over 10,000 moviegoers agree. It's nice to have an entertaining message-free escape for once. As of this recording, Alien Romulus is sitting pretty with a decent reception at the box office, and if it holds, it could be a nice throwback to when Alien movies dominated the summer. So, why is summer still a bust? Why did these failures, and I only named a few, fall so hard? Well, sometimes it was a case of lead actors who can't carry a movie, as was the case with Furiosa, a film that couldn't quite live up to the expectations of its predecessor, led by Anya Taylor-Joy, who is famous but arguably not a movie star. Or take Madam Web, a movie about a little-known Marvel character starring Dakota Johnson, who hasn't proven herself to be a cinematic draw. Other films suffered from the typical tired ploy of identity politics and messaging, the sin of which that movie that shall not be named was guilty of. Then there was the problem of tired franchises and overhyped IPs, something the folks over at Disney still haven't figured out. Or maybe it was just a case of families having better things to do in the summer, like avoid sunburns and finally take that trip to see the world's biggest ball of yarn. Now, some of the other reasons for the failures of these movies could be chalked up to a decent concept but poor execution. And in the case of some of these movies, it was just dark, depressing subject matter, which no one really wants to be reminded of when they're trying to escape the world filled with dark, depressing subject matter.
He's telling the truth.
And finally, I think a lot of these failures are just chalked up to unoriginal content. You know, same old, same old. Things we've seen in the box office time and time again, every summer for the last 10 years. I think it's time the audiences get a little something different, don't you? Now, I didn't list Kevin Costner's Horizon and American Saga on this list of losses because we're still waiting on part 2, and I want to see if its follow-up actually saves the first half before I make my final judgment on this one. What about those hits, though? Are those entertaining gems proof that Hollywood has finally learned its lesson and is ditching DEI for quality entertainment and good storytelling? I wouldn't bet the farm just yet, but one can still hope. Hollywood, after all, is still a business, and the profit is with a product that actually sells. In this case, that product is pure, good old-fashioned entertainment. Now, of course, I didn't hit every single movie that came out in the box office. I encourage you guys to check out those listings for yourself, do a little exploration, and, I don't know, enjoy the beauty of movie-going. So what's your take? Do you think there was a silver lining to this blockbummer summer? Or is the box office truly dead? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And hit that bell for notifications so you get another video just like this one. And until the next one, my fellow geeks, y'all stay nerdy out there. Later.